Hey, it's Adrian from Academy, and today I'll go through some of the changes that we made to the admin dashboard and to our product in general. Now, there's three big changes that are kind of changing quite significantly how Academy works in the admin sense. On the customer side, nothing has changed. They are not going to be really affected. But for you as an admin user in the system, quite a few things will be different. First, we've changed the data structure and the data model, or how we call things and how we structure things in our databases. Previously, we used to have bookings and orders, and that used to be both the commercial record and the academic record, if you want, with all the attendance tracking, lesson progress, everything kept in the same place. All the certificates and so on was kept in a single box or a single spreadsheet, if you wish. That was quite limiting. We couldn't do bundles. We couldn't do a single student being across multiple courses. We couldn't do very good reporting on lesson progress, and it was quite restrictive. So we've decided to restructure a huge chunk of how we store the data, and we now have two separate concepts. One is called orders. We've renamed enrollments to orders. Enrollments had the unfortunate different spelling across different, let's say, English-speaking regions. So that was always an issue for us. We've changed it to orders. Hopefully that's not going to be an issue on support anymore. And the second thing that we've done is created a dedicated table or database for the academic record. We call it registrations. And that's where you actually see the participant on a course. An order will be able to relate to multiple courses, multiple participants, and a single registration will be relating just to a single person on one course on one date. Now, we don't necessarily allow now to do bundles and all the other things. We've just restructured how the data works, and we've made a lot of improvements along the way in the system, but there's more to come. So in the next couple of months, you'll see a lot more updates and features that are finally enabled by this new structure. For now, I'll walk you through some of the changes, and the most obvious one is, again, the menu on the left is now called Orders, not Enrollments. You'll be able to interact with your sales figures directly in here. We've rebuilt the table components here, so you'll actually have a much nicer user experience. These can now be resized or dragged around, or you can more easily sort by this stuff. So a much nicer user experience overall. You can add as many columns as you want and navigate across them just like so. So it's a much smoother experience here. And another little improvement is that we've added the concept of order codes and registration codes. And these are sequential codes that are assigned to an order, so that when you search for them in here, or when you contact us on support and say, hey, can you look into this? It's more easy to just look and report against a single, easy to remember sequential number that goes up or down. Okay. So this table is actually going to be reused across other places in the system in the future. So stay tuned. We really like the user experience around them. So there's more to come in this space. A bit of a side effect of us changing all the data structure in here is actually that some of the filters that you previously created might not have been migrated over correctly. We've tried to essentially every piece of data that you had in the system, every booking, every order, every single thing should be migrated over correctly, and you shouldn't see much impact there. But certain things were a little bit more difficult to migrate. So an example of that might be a filter or two might be broken, and you might see a little icon next to it when you open the filters dropdown. That will be there as well as here. And so when you'll try and access one of the old filters that you pre-saved from before, you might not be able to use that. You'll just have to recreate that filter. We're sorry for the trouble there. So this is the first thing that's changed. The orders page should be hopefully a lot more intuitive and nice. You can hover over some of these records and jump directly to that company or to that contact or to that course. And now if I was to click on any particular order, you'll see the new order sheet. Okay, so certain things have been changed and moved. Every single feature that was there is still there, but maybe a little bit more differently placed. So look around and you should still find the option to move a booking to another course, or to add participants, or to change the payment status, or to view the invoice. Everything is still there, just looking a little bit different. And we've done that because we need to, let's say, leave room for some extra features that we want to add here in the near future. Okay, I have the participant on this course here, and now when I'll click on that, it'll actually open the registration record, which will have both the contact information, the registration fields, and the lesson progress, certificates, attendance. Everything will be kept in here. Okay, this will make a little bit more sense in a second when I go into the actual course. But I want to stress that we have completely separated these concepts, or these the idea of an order and the registration, in order to allow you some extra use cases and functionality. So every single participation record in a course will be its own dedicated record in the system. And you can create dedicated fields that are going to be only related to that record. So that means that if someone is booked onto 3 courses, you can have a field like an exam score or some additional notes on the back of their participation in the course that are going to be relating just to them participating in that course. If they've enrolled into 3 courses, you want that exam score to be different and saved on the registration record for that particular attendance on that course. And now you can do that. You can go into settings fields, create registration fields, and that will only be saved on the registration. Let's view an example where it should hopefully be a bit more clear. So I go into this course, and this is another change that you will notice. The home page for the course has changed a little, and it's changed because we wanted to, again, leave room for some additional features we want to build in the very near future. We are not 100% sure about this design just yet. It might change as we wait for people to give us feedback. But the idea was to try and keep a lot of the stuff that people liked from before, and also give us room for new things that we want to add in the future. So what do we see here? First, the tabs at the top are still pretty much like as they were, but this is more of a summary view. So when I look at the upcoming dates, I'll see the full list of dates like I used to before, and I'll see a snapshot of the most recent orders or registrations. I can switch and see the actual transactions, so who's purchased the course, or I can change to the participants tab to see who is going to be attending. So although I only have 7 orders on this particular date, I'll have a total of 11 registrations, as you can see here, right? And the idea is that, if I'm a facilitator and I log in as just a read-only facilitator, let's say, I will actually not be able to access the orders at all, the commercial record at all. I will only be able to see the academic record. It will automatically just streamline and hide all of this other stuff. Just show me the list of participants on the course that I've been assigned to, and I'll be able to mark and tick them off as attended. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. What I also can do now is to actually click into a specific date. The date is highlighted at the top, and everything that I'll be looking at here, orders, registrations, everything else, will now be related only to this one date that I have. So these are only orders or registrations, as in participants, on this one date. I can still select people and email them. I can email the people that have placed the orders, or I can email the actual participants. And I can take other mass actions like bulk marking their attendance, emailing, or bulk issuing certificates. Okay? So this is a general idea of how it works. And because these are dedicated records now, as you can see, they have dedicated registration IDs here, I can clearly see, okay, these are the 15 people coming onto my course. I could see if this is a blended course and they had to do some e-learning. I could see if they've completed that or not. And if I've issued their certificates, I'll see that. All of these can be customizable, by the way, so I can add in extra columns. So I could add it. I've added one for the registration, example registration field and exam score here. And if I click to open this registration, I can go under their contact info and say that their exam score is 80. Now, when I do this, it will change directly in here. And if this person, Marcos, attends 10 different courses, this value is not going to be saved on the contact. It will be saved directly on their registration or participation record in the course. So it's a completely new concept. For some of you, it'll make complete sense. Others might be finding this a little bit more confusing compared to our more streamlined model before. But I promise that this is going to be a much better approach for us to be able to build better reporting, better automation features in the future, better integrations with third-party systems, and a lot more that we want to do. So hopefully you'll enjoy the changes. If there's any changes that you want us to make or any feedback that you have, please don't hesitate to share. As I said, we are still kind of experimenting here, and we want to find the right way to make this as intuitive as possible, as always. So please don't hesitate to message us. We hope you'll enjoy these updates, and as always, take care.